everybody. Sorry for giving the Saturday session a miss. I'm here to make up for it. So today I'm going to be talking about a lot of news regarding the changes in policies coming in from the Australian immigration regarding the student visas or other temporary resident visas. A lot of people, see, what I've noticed is that by and large, any person who draws up a perception about the migration trends in Australia draws the information from the student visa trends. The reason being that Australia's skilled migration is a very complicated process, and not many consultants in India have the expertise to deal with such a complicated product. Student visa, on the other hand, is something anybody and everybody is dealing with. The basic notion that is passed on from one person to another whenever any news comes in, if there's some relaxation in the rules related to students, people start saying, oh, Australia immigration has become easier. And if there is an announcement related to some tighter visa rules, they would say, oh, Australia skilled migration has become difficult. So they don't seem to kind of understand that student visa and skilled migration are two entirely different processes, and the policies related to student visa do not apply to skilled migration, which is point test based, and policies that apply to the point test based migration do not have any bearing on the student visa. So let's quickly discuss the few changes we've had seen in the last 1 month, 1 week, or the last 10 days. So first of all, as we already talked about this, the students who have already spent thousands of dollars studying in Australia have now been made to face a restriction in age, which means only students who are less than 35 years of age can now apply for a 485 visa. So let me put it this way: if there is somebody who is 37 years old and he or she got the student visa, went to Australia, studied for a certain course, completed the course, and now wants to apply for a 485 visa, he or she will be literally told, thank you for being here, thank you for getting an Australian education, we cannot accommodate you through the 485 visa, you may please head back to your country. So that is of course very, very upsetting. Yes, people do feel that they are facing the brunt of this sudden change where there was hardly any transition period. But in order to put Australia's revamped policies for restructuring its migration policy, this is something that is in line with what they intend to do. And what they do intend to do is they need to make sure that the students do not use a student visa to come to Australia and settle there, or visitors do not try to use a visitor visa or a temporary resident visa to come and study there and then work there and then finally apply for a skilled migration. The next change the Australian immigration has introduced is that they have put a stop on the visa hopping. That is, those who thought it was easier to go to Australia on a visitor visa or a temporary resident visa, and then in order to stay there for longer, they would enroll in a course, apply for a student visa, they would get a student visa, and when they wanted to stay there probably indefinitely, they would apply for their migration. So that scheme of things has been kind of totally marred. The DHA has disturbed the apple cart there. They have declared that now people coming into Australia on a visitor or a TR visa can no longer apply for a student visa while being in Australia on a visitor visa. So this is again a change that directly affects visitors and TR holders and not skilled migrants in any way. The third change that has been announced is that Australia is now restrictive about the number of students coming into Australia. Now see, there are two kinds of universities, or let's say schools, in all the countries. There are competitive schools whose parameters for admissions are very high. Obviously only very academically I would say well proven students can get admission in such institutes, and majority of the people whose purpose is actually to settle in Australia, they are the ones who would actually go through non-competitive schools whose admission criteria are fairly lenient. And we do see a lot of agents advertising that we can probably get you into Australia with a very low English proficiency score and so on. So in order to tackle that, in order to curb this, they have now given every educational institution in Australia, be it a college or university, a certain number that you can only give admissions to a certain number of international students and not beyond that, so that there can be a fair check and balance on the number of students coming into Australia merely for the purpose of settling there. And of course, we've already seen that they have introduced increase in the English proficiency for the students who intend to come to Australia. They've already curbed the post-study work rights, made it shorter for them. All of this is being done basically to dissuade students from coming to Australia. It's not that they do not want students, they do want students, but they want students who actually intend to enroll in programs that are going to enhance their academic achievements or add on to their academic profile. They do not want students to use a student visa to enter Australia and then settle there through a point-based system and eat away all the nominations, having the advantage of an onshore applicant, the nominations which the offshore applicants have been so patiently waiting for such a long time. So in order to restructure the immigration policy and encourage the regional visas or state nominated visas, there have been certain other fixes. Now the migration program for the year 24-25 sees a very sharp dip in the number of 189 visa quota. It has been slashed to more than half of what it used to be. Now, a lot of people think that 189 will now be closed for the year 24-25. That's absolutely so untrue. It is not going to be closed. 189 will remain there, but it is going to be obviously more competitive because the number of applicants are more and the quota for this visa has been slashed to less than half. However, your best bet could be a 190 or a 491 visa, because Australia has rather increased the quota for 491 and has an equally good portion of 190 quota. So 190 and 491 visas are something you could be looking for, and these are the visas you should be actually seriously looking at, not a student visa to eventually settle in Australia, and not really any other visa to enter into Australia, get into X visa, then Y visa, then Z visa, and then finally PR. They want you to straight away focus on a 190 and a 491, because this falls well in line with their plan of action, which is keeping a focus on, or increasing the focus on, regional migration and dissuading the students who have been taking advantage of accumulating a lot of points over offshore applicants, and those who were in Australia actually for the purpose of studying and going back but never went back and went on to apply for their permanent residence there. So I hope this kind of clarifies that whatever news you're coming across right now is negative only for students. It does not even concern skilled migrants. Rather, the good news is that the quota for skilled migration is huge, and we do expect huge rounds of invitations for 190 and 491 visas beginning July this year. So that'll be it for now. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to write into us at enquiries@CaanWings.com or CaanWings@gmail.com, or call us on our helpline, that is 78498 78498. Until next time, bye bye and take care.